I know I say that pretty often, but today definitely will be a shorter one. I have only a little over an hour to see what we can get down here. So basically what I'd like to do is see about getting some of the little stuff accomplished. So basic roadmap for how this run's going to work right now. I still need to be able to have enough items to get through Pirate's Graveyard. Technically speaking, I should be okay with what I have. But again, it's a should be, and I really don't want to really ballpark that kind of thing right now. So what I want to do is get WK up to 40. Reason being that there's a few story fights there that I really expect to be more of an issue as time goes on there. Again, the more we get level-wise here, the better we're going to be in the long run. But basically, I just want to be able to one-shot certain situations there. And yeah, that's kind of the way we're going to do it. So basically, the only reason we're sticking around this plot area is entirely for picking up Asleston, and then once we do that, we can just go ahead and move on wherever. So yeah, high evasion build should be getting a lot better returns at this point. So we don't have... I mean, both build types have their advantages, that's for sure. But right now, an evasion build will be drastically faster than anything we have slow-wise. We don't really have elemental armor in either direction, really. I'm actually just going to go ahead and hit this guy here just to get my buff. So we're just going to get the buff here, get all that powered up. So, so yeah, as soon as we get Asleston, then we can move on to other things. We're probably just going to storm through to the end of the game for the most part after that point. There's certain things I want to check out in the Palace of the Dead, and I definitely want to go back and pick up some of those, pick up the light and dark coats from POTD. But as far as doing the full bore thing, aside from getting the vests, we're probably only going back there. Well, no, not necessarily. So there's a couple things that I want to get done in POTD, and I've already been mentioning them prior, but ideally I want to be able to pick up all the vests, pick up at least a few heavy armors. I want to pick up the reeking armor at some point, which again seems like a weird thing to go pick up, but technically the reeking armor is the best power armor that's available. The dynamo plate is very similar. It's kind of just a flat upgrade to the dynamo plate. It's a very slight increase, so it's not like, you know, if it's a problem to get a hold of, it's not really something that's going to be a major problem. But it would be nice to pick up while we're on the way there. One quick test. Can I finish this guy off? Yes, and that's definitely worth doing before he gets his tier 4s. Let's get him gone. And in fact, we're probably better off going for that card right now. Yeah, I never really realized just how much movement the WK has at this point. Might have been from doing a few runs of vanilla recently. Which, actually, speaking of, there's another thing I guess I can probably go ahead and announce there. So after the solo runs, after the monster run for the Cerebro mod, there was discussion of a few different things, and I was talking about doing that recruit only run, and basically the recruit only challenge kind of became a different thing. The more I kept going and testing it, the more it became clear that there were a few things that could be made a bit more fun about it. And so that's that's kind of what I kept on going and refining and whatever else, and so came up with a rule set that, well, does the job pretty darn well. And so pretty much what I decided to do is just like the solo runs, just like the ferry only runs. Why not just do the entire series using that rule set? And oh man, we're just gonna get every finisher here, aren't we? But yeah, basic idea. If you didn't see the post, which I don't know how many people actually saw the post, but yeah, the basic idea is that it's essentially a run where you more or less can't use stores, can't really edit your units in any way. All right, can I get a turn at some point, please? Been double turned by their entire frickin' team at this point. Would be real nice. Anywho, so yeah. The idea is that you can't use stores, you can only use recruited units, you can't adjust those recruited units in any way. The only one that you can ever change over the course of the game is going to be your leader character. Now, The way that changes is going to be different for every game, but the idea is that they're supposed to be their main goals as a recruiter. For a couple of the games, granted, anyone can recruit, so that's perfectly fine. But yeah, for the purposes of this, for Lucked, since the original was locked into only one character being able to recruit, that's the role we're going to be going with for this one. I will say between the two of them, One Vision is amazingly more difficult. Although it's kind of for different reasons. With a vanilla game going through on a rule set like that, which by the way, it would be the usual Iron Man rules and everything else, so as soon as dying happens, deleting the save happens. And so yeah, I think I'm just going to kind of checkpoint it between games. But yeah, that's kind of the general idea. But I wouldn't really expect it to be a win in most situations, but it's a really, really fun challenge to do, like especially on Vanilla Locked. And it mostly comes from the fact that it's one of the ways that I really loved playing playing the SNES version. It's just, I don't know, it had a really weighty feel to it, you know? That it's just in every fight you're going in completely unprepared, and you basically have to recruit all of your team on the spot and/or die. It's just it's really fun. It's really fun. It doesn't sound like it'd be that much of a thing, and you'd think like in the vanilla game you're going through and you're going and getting all these different items from recruiting people all the time. But that's the thing, you can't change them at all. So you're kind of in a position where you're running into subpar builds all the time. And what I originally was thinking about the whole thing is that I wanted to be able to go through and try each of the games using only AI builds. Like, just exclusively, like, utterly unoptimized, just whatever generic grunts, you know, the AI happens to use. So for example, in the vanilla game, this typically lends itself to a whole lot of units that are coming in with pretty jacked up builds. Like, oh yeah, let me get friggin' daggers and true strike and friggin' fortify on an like just a warlock or some crap. It's like, I'm not sure your build makes sense, but okay, you know, whatever makes your day tick, I suppose. But it's fun. It's really fun. The OV ones have led to a lot more uses of skills that you may not necessarily use that often. Like, I don't know about others. Personally, like, as much as I see a whole lot of potential in using stuff like knockback and whatever else, I just never use it. And so this led to a whole bunch of units running knockback or running like tank builds and whips, pretty much squash on every other unit. It's interesting, and like another interesting part of it is that yeah, every time that you need to get a class, logistically speaking, it is difficult to change your classes. You're just kind of dealing with whatever you got, which yeah, tends to be pretty fun. You tend to run basic classes a lot more, since warriors are the most common class. They're usually the easiest to get a hold of. Usually when you run to knights and things like that, they're going to be way more loyal. So yeah, it's fun. It's a fun one. Not to mention you can't really go back in this challenge. So it tends to lead to a lot of pretty tense situations. It's like, well, you know, can try to go finish off that guy, or can try to recruit them, but you can't really do both. In some cases you can. Like, usually the ideal scenario is that something gets knocked to relatively low health. You can run up, you can try to do a like 20 to 40% recruit, and well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you know, shank. But yeah, bear in mind, over the course of this challenge, Denim is not allowed to use any other skills other than recruit skills. In the vanilla game, this basically means he has one very expensive recruit skill at his disposal, usually just going to be recruit itself. In the case of OV, I mean, you can use all the recruit skills, but it doesn't really necessarily change that much. You get access to other things, but you're still, you know, still trying not to use too many classes, ideally. But yeah, it's a really fun one to mess around with. Alright, how are our stats looking at this point? Because, yeah, originally we just wanted around 38 strength, and, well, we're already at 44, so that's doing alright, I feel. Is there anything that I really want to use here? Because I think we're just saving up for TP4. Because once we get that, we're pretty much off to the races as far as damage goes. And actually, yeah, we're not going to get this guy all the way up to 40. 38 is what I was shooting for before, so that's what we're going to go for. Simple enough. Simple enough. Alright, first order of business is pretty clear. Go for Janet the healer down there. I love how normal some of these names seem. Like, you'll get friggin' Atropos and Lichys and friggin' Boner. Which apparently Boner was supposed to be Bartholomew or something. And then you just get Janet. Like Janet from Accounting, the cleric. Accounting cleric. Okay, I'm sorry, it's Janet. But still. Still. So, anyhow, that challenge idea that I was talking about, what I'm thinking is that, yeah, I want to do the entire series using that rule set. Probably start off with Knight of Lotus, go to, and if you're wondering, by the way, yes, your starting units never get anything other than their starting equipment. So that's, yeah, like no stores, no crafting, no recruiting, nothing. Like, it's just what you find on the way. You're allowed to retreat in the games that have it, just for the sake of you really run into a lot of situations where you might just be outright screwed. So the option to evacuate needs to be there, but aside from that, yeah, your options are very limited in terms of your escapes. Yeah, let's spread that damage around a little bit. Which is fun. It's a very fun challenge. Definitely the most fun I've had with vanilla in years. Definitely makes use of the mechanics a lot better than you'd think. And yeah, you can, by the way, I should probably clarify, you can change Denham's equipment. Originally, well, your leader's equipment, it depends on which game it would be. Like, originally I was thinking to go do it in a way that just said you can't do that, but it's more fun being able to actually edit stuff, at least when it comes to your leader units and stuff like that. There we go, they can't heal them all. Actually, probably can heal them all, because they probably got a multi-heal all ready to go here. But I just figure they can't heal all three. Oof, ouch. Alright, that wasn't great, but oh well. Oh yeah, I forgot to test out the new features of Absorb MP. I forgot about that. Should probably look into it. Because I think that gives like a limited reflect of some description. Ow. Let's burn the hell out of my mouth with some coffee. Good choice, good choice. Now, can Giga Tempest take out these two? No, but that would have been a nice thought. 392, 352, 351. Who's gonna? Yeah, this is gonna be the best deal. Get one Lizardington gone. Now, out of curiosity, what is the deal with you only using a basic heal? Was it just because of that? Yeah, they've got all the way up to heal 4. But yeah, so the main reason that OV gets harder over the course of that challenge is, well, even though your basic stuff does tend to get much better, the simple fact remains that you're, well, there's a lot of skills that you can't use, and you kind of need more skills to be able to really do it effectively. But again, the plan is to go through all of them. So it's in a particular order. I wanted to try and attempt to make all the mods and everything happen too. So the plan was to go through all the vanilla games. So starting with Knight of Lotus. So figure that one should be relatively easy. Please dodge this somehow. Nice. So yeah, Knight of Lotus I'd figure should be relatively easy. Please parry or miss. Ah, crap. Oh well, that's fine. Let's do it again. But yeah, Knight of Lotus, I guess it actually wouldn't technically be easy, because most of the units with unique items and whatever else and elemental gear probably won't be too willing to join. Usually they've got pretty low recruit odds. Probably start off with the Arbitration Emblem, because actually getting that thing is a massive pain, so probably going to just try to come up with a team of recruiters. And yeah, just kind of go from there and constantly replace people and replace units and everything else. So the plus side being that you can recruit any unit, so it should be better. I mean, any unit aside from uniques and leaders, but either way. Should be pretty interesting. Interestingly, I don't think you can actually recruit Richter's 2 knights in that game. So for those that happen to have played it but might have missed the little detail, he actually keeps his same 2 bodyguards from the very start. They're soldiers throughout most of the game, and then they show up in some cutscenes later, and then they're promoted to knights by the end, which is a nice little touch. I always kind of appreciated that one. Like, they've got unique dialogue and everything when they're killed off. But yeah, I don't think you can recruit them, but you can recruit just about everybody else. You can get, I think, every class in the game, aside from maybe Dragoons. But again, the leader's class can be changed. Man, get out of here with your stupid dispels. I think that's gonna make flying a problem. But again, that's why we have a class that can throw out a bunch of buffs here. If only I had some better healing options. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Check that guy, do the consecrates, and away we go. Mostly I'm worried about him hitting a bind or something like that. Melee ones I'm not too worried about. She's gonna get rid of our light buff. Oh, got rid of strength in that time. Rude. Oh well, we can re-up it. And what the hell is this guy doing? I mean, whatever works for you, sir. I'm not gonna complain. Yeah, I can probably just Charybdis these 2. Just get them put away for now. Just don't want to deal with their nonsense. Now we're just gonna go back here. Pick up this card. We don't really need this card too much. I mean, it's friggin' loyalty to yourself, all things considered. But what I want to do is get these guys stacked up on the right side here. She's getting in the way of that. I was hoping to leave them all stuck back here. Oh well. This is what I want to do, is snipe them with finishers and run away. Alright, we're just going to do that. Just want to try to get out of their finisher range if I can. It's pretty unlikely. Dude, this... man, this Valkyrie sucks. They're so mean with their dispels. That's probably why that crap was so expensive in the base game. Because they just don't stop spamming it. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and fly over them now. Get them nice and stuck. Hopefully don't have to deal with their other stuff too much. Gonna go ahead and put on Consecrate so that hopefully it takes the light buff away from us instead of anything else. And yeah, then just go after their archers, after which we can hopefully just leave these guys alone for the most part. Because the melee guys, their only finishers are going to be the rank 2s. They got to get pretty much right in our face to be able to use them, and that takes them 2 turns to do. And yeah, we can kind of just play keep away for the time being. As long as the archers are gone, as long as we can deal with their leadens, because if we get hit with a leaden, that's basically over. Now with that many melee units, we're just going to get screwed if we get hit by a leaden. Now that I think about it, when I was thinking about that whole Lord build setup, kinda missing an important detail on that one. That if we get hit by a spear finisher, we're kinda screwed if we don't have silence proof. Alright, that is extremely annoying. If we could stop getting hammered, that'd be great. Thank you. Let's just run back here and heal. Trying to stay just slightly within spear range so that hopefully she goes for that. Perfect. And she is gone. Okay. Please don't take that card. Rude. It's a strength card. Alright, whatever, that's fine. That's fine, as long as we're still around. So the more I think about it, the more I realized that the most practical way we're gonna be able to set up for later is gonna be the Ogre set. So it's got a whole bunch of proofs on it, including fear proof. By the time we get to the very end, we should have a. Please miss this, because I have a full bar. You suck. All right. But yeah, by the time that we can get it, Firecrest plus Ogre set would basically go really well with a spear, with a one-handed spear. Right, can you stop hammering me with every finisher so I can maybe do some stuff here, please? That'd be greatly appreciated. Yeah. Gotta love when those kind of moments happen. It's like, no, but 50% though, that basically means everything lands. I can't complain. I mean, I guess we've been doing pretty alright as far as odds go this time. Just having a hard time getting these last ones finished off because I can't take a breather. Because the way that was supposed to work out is that I get them relatively close there, kind of dart away, blow that entire finisher on one of the archers, get them gone, then they don't have a finisher anymore. It looks like they're both running crossbows, so at the very least we don't have to worry about that as much. Because yeah, a weighted shot on any bows is a weighted shot? I think it's weighted shot. It's weird for a game that I played 10 friggin' years now. I can never remember one of the most common finishers in the game. I can't remember whether it's weighted shot, leaded shot. I think it's weighted shot. Or weighted anchor or something like that. Dark anchor? Anchorage, Alaska? I don't know. I don't know. Thank you, 40%. That was completely necessary. Alright, there's a mind card. Alright, can we stop getting double turned by heavy units, please? I'm actually not sure why we're getting double turned so often. We are running a decent amount of equipment, but we should be pretty fast. Because we've got a full light armor set. I mean, our dodge is pretty well up there. We're actually running 2 less weight than the usual light armor set. I'm really not sure, but god dang, they're fast. Anyhow, they're gone. Get a few more cards. Probably just pick this up and heal up for good measure. Probably don't need it, but it's good to be safe. But these kinds of situations are exactly why I wanted to do a little bit more of a grind before going out anywhere. Now, I don't really have anything that scales with int. I don't really use that stat whatsoever, but I am thinking that there's got to be something I'm going to end up using it for, so just kind of letting that be for the time moment. For the time moment, really? For the time being. One last heal for good measure, and then we'll just go ahead and win this one. Probably should have gone ahead and put my buffs out right there, but oh well. Could use slow on him. I would probably break him in half, but we're going to go ahead and use Ruination. Go for the insta-kill here. And yeah, we're potentially 1 or 2 more fights away from having that be the strongest that it can be. Which is funny, because as far as ranks go, we're still not maxed out there. We've still got another 10, 20... No, we've still got another... I'm forgetting off the top of my head. We've got about another 32 damage that we can add on top of it from the spear, which that's pre-scaling damage, so we're going to get a lot more than that. And then on top of that, we're still getting more from the light augment there. On top of that, we're still getting more from what's it? If we get the finial, that'll probably be the best way for it to go. Alright, so if we're looking at the skills here, Because, yeah, Oglite is 5, so that's giving us base damage. As far as finisher damage, that's only at rank 2. So once we get a finial, then we can get that up, but we don't exactly have the crafting book for that yet, because that's in one of those thingamajigs, and we haven't quite gotten there yet. Anywho, we need 780 for that one, right? Probably shouldn't have wasted all those points. 760, okay. That's no problem. Should be a couple more fights. Then we can get ourselves all TP'd up. And we're presumably sticking with the WK. I can't really think of any reason not to. All the gear that we have completely supports this build. But yeah, the main thing we need is elemental stuff for every category. Even if it doesn't match, it's random elemental bonuses. Not to mention they're just going to be a flat increase over what we already have. So there's a lot of them that can drop in Pirate's Graveyard, but I don't know exactly what we're going to be able to get there. Alright, what are we looking at here? No healer? Okay, basically the same team all over again. Just gonna put on the wing boots so that they run up and do a dispel. Yes, it's annoying. I wish that it was a little bit less accurate, but I guess it's about as accurate as it needs to be. I remember it being really, really inaccurate in the base game. Like, to the point that you could never rely on it to actually get rid of the buffs that you wanted. Not to mention it, well, it still only gets rid of one of them. And I've always been kind of curious whether the thing that it picks in that little bubble wheel, whether it's just random, or whether there's actually some logic. Like, each debuff is assigned to a particular sector of that particular circle. Because I always felt like it was that way. Very good. Crit is good. Man, I think it's Consecrate Edge that's the big thing that slows down the WK. I don't remember. I think the cost was like 30 or something. So it's about as much as an extra action, but yeah, it's definitely a class that randomly gets double turned, and that's its main issue by far. I was hoping that the wing boots might potentially solve that problem, but it doesn't seem like they have yet. Alright. As much as I'd want to finish off this caster guy, I'm actually going to go ahead and Charybdis these two, so we don't have to worry about him yet. Gonna go ahead and not move. Thank you, 25%. Alright, bummer. I thought he was gonna go for another whack there. That would have been pretty handy. I'm not sure what this lady doesn't understand about odds. This is super risky. Let's see what happens. Because he's going to hit us. The two lizards should hopefully get stopped, but I think one of them has siege. No, they don't. Okay, no siege, no problems. Oh, you know what? Come to think of it. I need to go recommend something to Rakes real quick. I wonder if you can attach Siege onto the Lava Walk Boots, because they're so... It's like the Lava Walk Boots are so oddly specific, so there's pretty much no reason to ever use them, but... There we go. Let's see what he says about that. Alright, now we can finish off someone. No, no. Yes. I think we're probably not running a Strengthen right now. Yeah, we don't have Strengthen. That's why that was so weak. Alright. Take a couple steps this way. She's probably going to take a stab. Alright, lizards. Please. Well, that card's not too important. Feel free to take that card. She's gonna be vindictive anyway. Man, could you imagine if Wither and Curse abilities stacked? Honestly, that's the only thing that would possibly justify their cost in vanilla. I'm not sure why. Like, if anyone's got a theory, I've always wondered if anyone had an idea why in the hell they were so hard to get a hold of and so freaking expensive and everything else. And then you tried out the actual skills, and they were pretty well worthless, because they're like, oh yeah, you remove 10% of maximum MP. It's like, what the hell's that gonna do? It's like, what? That's gonna give them 1 less MP regeneration sometimes? It's, I don't know. I don't know. It seems super funky. If everyone could stop critting for free, that'd be awesome. What is this? It's like 40%, 50% chance to hit. Crit every time. Uh-huh, 40%. Thank you for the hit. What about you? You gonna hit through low odds too? Yes. Awesome. Thanks, RNG. That's beautiful right there. That was some severe bullcrap. Starting to wonder if I accidentally took off parry or something. I do still have parry on, right? Yeah, it's still on there. Still 45% chance to proc with every attack. Wait, what? Huh, apparently Rakes is saying that the siege skill actually reduces your movement by 1. I thought that only applied when it was walking through rampart auras. Weird. I mean, I know when it comes to spark guards, right now I would probably never use them, just even on lava maps. It's just, I'd much rather get something that lets you fly, but if they had siege, I don't know, I'd want them. Oh, and we've got double fencers for this one, so goodbye buffs. I'm probably going to go for the archers first. They're the easiest to deal with here. That's fine. See, like, right there, that's one of the only times that you'd ever want to use a 3-tile spear, in my opinion. I mean, granted, I still use them on some particular builds, but in general, I'm not a fan of 3-tile spears. Ruinate, give me that. Alright, if I just Charybdis that one. And it'll slow him down. It probably won't be enough to give me a double turn on him. But I'm hoping everybody else can move before he can. Alright, arch, arch. Thank you. Go ahead and hit that guy. I don't want to do Consecrate right now because I'd like to hopefully have a turn to just finish off this guy and then move on to other places. Just one less archer to deal with. Because their accuracy is insane. Okay. take one tile backwards here. Death card, no. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and re-up this so that they're tempted to go get rid of the buffs instead of attacking. I guess the odds are low of them hitting. And for some reason they decided that card is worth stepping into that tile, which I'm not going to complain. Seems like a pretty good situation there. Can I Charybdis these guys? Yes, it's worth it. Worth it. Your other archer lady should be pretty well out of range. They do have their weighted or leaded or whatever anchor shot. So that's going to be a problem later. But for the time being, we can at least hopefully deal with these two. Or, she's definitely the priority because she's got all that divine stuff and can do dispels and everything. That guy's probably just going to do moves like that over and over. Drop a heal. There is a possibility, now that I'm thinking about it, to just go into Pirate's Graveyard. I'd probably do the first few levels as a lower level class, and then go into Oh, nice. Anyway, back to the train of thought on hand. So what I was thinking, we go into Pirate's Graveyard with a lower level. So let's say we go in with what do we have that's at around that point, like Swordmasters or something, right? Although ideally something that can use a shield of some description. But so we go in there with a lower one, deal with the base level units. And then, actually, I wonder if they have a base. Okay, we're gonna have to test if they have a base level. I actually don't know for Pirate's Graveyard. I think they do. They might just have a minimum of 20-something. I don't know. We'll find out. But point being, if we can get a low-level version, then we just basically do that. Then we use, like, let's say a Dragoon or something else that's reasonably leveled up, but it's not exactly our best one. And then from there, we switch over to WK for the main boss, which should be at a very significant advantage. But point being, we can actually charge up the bar more than we could previously. So even with a massive level at disadvantage or whatever else, or kind of whatever ends up happening, we still would be able to make a decent amount of hurt happen. Because bear in mind, typically speaking, when it comes to the damage scaling on these things, it's about 1 extra point per extra point that you can charge up, so about 25 extra. I'm just going to cross the board potentially, but depending on how mismatched you are level-wise, that can actually be a lot more extreme. So that might be some of the craziest damage we can get a hold of. Because based on all the augments and bonuses and everything else that we've got going on, in the early game, like the versus early game stuff, we can probably still throw out insta-kill damage against pretty much any boss in the game. Like, if I were to spawn in the low-level version of the last boss, we would be able to one-shot him, I'm fairly certain. Or at least we're getting very close to being able to. Right, so that's just Empress. We don't need an MP card. We'll pick it up if he doesn't take it, which he shouldn't have any means to do. And then, yeah. I just want to pick up this other stuff so that we can at least somewhat recoup our costs. Right. Let's go pick up this card, and then we'll let him attack and probably counter and get himself finished off. Yay, 3 MP. I sure wish one of the HP cards would roll something that isn't a 1. Let's go for a Ruination to get that fire training. And there we go. I feel like finishers do 2 or 3 times as much experience, but I'm not really certain behind that. Alright, 806 plus 146. We're still going to need to win 2 more fights here to be able to pick up that last skill. Right, how many class marks do I have, first of all? 2. Yeah, that should be workable. I promise we'll be done with Tynemouth pretty soon here. It's just too good of an opportunity to pass up right now. Right. Yes, it's a very expensive thing we're going to use here, but it's a double cleric map. So clerics have a pretty decent chance to drop blessing stones and piles of them. I think if we want to start making a decent amount of cash later, might be worth going in with either Rogue or Buccaneer. Probably when we're training Buccaneers, when we're going to get the best profits out of all this stuff. Yeah, you can actually pickpocket a blessing stone from the clerics, and then you can go and finish them off for another one. So that's a nice 2,000 per each one. It's like, as far as cash methods go, I'd say it's probably the fastest way to get money in one vision. Like, for this run, anyway. Obviously, stuff would be a little bit different in other circumstances, but in this case, yeah, I'd say so. Poke. The nice thing about this little layout here, if we get all our buffs going, we can actually one-shot the archers, leave the clerics up. Probably can get to the point of one-shotting the lizards. Maybe just one-shot one of the clerics, but we can set it up in a training loop. Let's go ahead and take a heal. Just testing the damage on that. Yeah, next round we'll be able to finish him off. Just gonna take a heal, probably take a consecrate here. Let them get some of their attacks off. We'll charge up the point cost of this anyway. Yeah, we should already be back. Look at that regenerate. That's adorable. Get rid of the light buff. Hopefully. Actually, it looks like they rolled a strength in that time. Boo. I wonder if that was changed. I could have sworn before it was always doing one or the other. Or rather, it was always starting off with a light buff. Either way, reduces the odds to 1 out of 3 instead of guaranteed. So I can't complain. Let's get behind this archer. Let them take their turns. Yeah, I want to finish off this Azelston thing finally, though. Because once we get Buccaneer, we're probably going to stick to that for a little bit, just because of the number of options that it's got available and the fact that it's got evade. I don't recall what its actual healing abilities are, but if it's even got access to Field Alch 1, then we're already in business. Alright, let's check here. Almost a one-shot. Definitely a one-shot. Okay, that was a decent option there, sir. That spell. When are you gonna roll this time? Yeah, that time it was either the buff or the accuracy. Looks like they got accuracy off that time. Alright, one-hander lizard needs to go because that finisher is terrifying. Right. So I don't want to let them get close. Obviously, they're going to double turn me eventually. See, even if you're in a situation where you're charging forward and getting stuck in Rampador and whatever else, there's still a pretty solid chance that you're going to be able to double turn somebody eventually. Thank you, 40% odds that seem to hit every single time. Greatly appreciated. Beautiful. Fortunately, now we gotta play keep away until that goes away. This is one of those reasons I was going for those fancy pants, so that we could have stop ward available at all times. And I'm actually considering going and picking up the Reaper Ring. It's also got stop ward on there. Alright, there's... do their heals. Dead. Boo. Alright, that's fine. That's fine, we'll just do it again. As you do. And if you're wondering why I don't do the river map, by the way, they're far more likely to spawn in with flying clerics. And that's just not something you want to deal with. Not solo, anyway. Because they'll always just fly across the river, and then you can't chase them there, and then they get a free heal, and then you're just basically doing a Benny Hill routine at that point. It's not like it's impossible. It's definitely annoying in the vanilla game, though, because a lot of the rune fencers that can spawn there will have heals as well. Because, honestly, I don't know why they even bothered giving other elements to rune fencers. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of inconceivable that anybody would ever go for anything that isn't divine in the base game. Because why would you? It just doesn't make any practical sense whatsoever. Thank you for critting it past the 25%. Greatly appreciated. Alright. Yeah, the RNG is not nice today, but you know what? Even in those circumstances, we're still doing alright. And I think we'll have just enough healing items to be able to pull everything off. It's a little bit of a waste here, wasting 150 on a 70, or 90, or I guess it was a 70, huh? But, in this case, it should be worth it. Really? You wanna maybe reconsider? Right. Alright, we're just gonna go for the cleric then, as much as I really want to see this one gone. With how much they're critting, I really would have expected them to have nomads or something. But no, they're just really lucky, I guess. Put on Mending Seeds right now, probably put on Wing Boots the next turn. Because if I turn that on right now, we'll just get dispelled. Yeah, excited. Got a test in a few hours here. It's why I'm doing it a little bit shorter today. The kiddos are just having their breakfast over there, but yeah, doing a test to hopefully get yet another job on the pile. We'll see if we up it up to 6 jobs, if it's going to be enough to actually be an actual income. Man. I'm a little bit surprised that that kind of crap alone hasn't gotten one of the major political parties completely just silenced in the country here. Because so for those kind of outside the U.S. and all that, we basically have two groups, one of which leans into the poorer end of things, one leans very heavily into the religious and richer part of things. But I mean, there's this mentality that they keep trying to promote in people of like, oh man, everyone's just not trying hard enough, and then like you see people running around with a dozen frickin' jobs and whatever else, trying, you know, barely able to make ends meet. Meanwhile, their landlord is charging like $1,200 for a house in the ghetto, and you can't get a house because you can't get a mortgage because you can't get credit because you can't get caught up. Although although the actual requirements to get houses in different places are just screwy as all hell right now. I mean, hell, we on beyond 2 incomes right now. We've been trying to manage to be able to get approved to get a house for years. And I used to have a background, well, technically still do have a background in real estate and all that, so it's not like, you know, we're getting taken for a ride and just don't know what exactly to do in these situations. It's literally just, it's an utter monopoly by a bunch of folks who don't really need it. It sucks. It sucks something fierce. But what can you do, right? Alright, let's go shankify that guy. But yeah, I don't know, it just kind of surprised me over and over, because it's such a prevalent situation, you know? And just, yeah, some folks are still going around with that mentality of just like, oh no, everyone's lazy. Everyone except for the old folks are just lazy, and it's like, no, you got a way better economy to deal with. And you didn't have to have friggin' 5-10 years experience to go, you know, be an intern somewhere. It's bizarre. I'm really curious to see like how long it's going to take before something snaps somewhere. It has to come eventually, you know? It's like it's one of these cases where they might have actually found something that people have been looking for historically since forever. It's just like that nice happy medium where people are, well, they don't have the time to go deal with, actually go protest it or whatever else. And don't have enough support to be able to have somebody else protest it for them, and who knows? Maybe they finally found what dictators have been looking for since forever. But, I mean, it's kind of a vague they in this case, because it wouldn't be any particular individual or group, but I'm pretty sure you can kind of see what I'm getting at. Then again, it probably was more just a more weird accident of how stuff's been for the longest time. Hopefully eventually stuff improves. Because I don't see how that's going to happen. Alright, what do we got here? Got a Fool card, got a Lover card. We do need both of these, so might as well pick it up at least. Re-up our buffs next round. Yeah, sorry. I normally don't like discussing anything remotely politically related. I just mean, in this case, there's just so much grind going on. What can you do, right? Yeah, might as well throw silence on this guy. He's gonna go try to do his finisher pretty soon. And we're probably gonna get double turns, so I'm gonna at least hopefully try to distract him with getting rid of that debuff, maybe? Probably could have gone for a Crib Disc, but no. Yeah, there we go. Gets his bad blood off. Dang. Stole my loot. That's why I was facing the other direction, you douche. Finish him. And hopefully she doesn't actually double turn us somehow. Gonna crit. Actually, wait a minute. I might get double procced by Venom here. No, okay, just got the one. So if you have 2 units and one of them is ending their round, sometimes you can get 2 to 3 instances of poison taking at once, which can tend to screw you pretty good, like right there. And it's just because nobody had a turn between those, so it's just a certain amount of RT ticks. And if you're particularly slow and your opponent's particularly slow, that's when you wind up with those situations where you're just suddenly taking 60 poison damage. Probably don't need strengthen anymore. Let's throw this out there. What an idiotic move. I have no idea why she did that. Well, actually, I do. It's probably because she, because of Rampart Aura, she couldn't get away. Get up to 39, and we almost have enough points, so one more fight. Weird. Okay, I didn't even, never really thought about it, but it completely makes sense. I was just looking over at the Discord real quick, and there was a thing somebody had for when you could put hover onto, you could basically just give a hover buff to birds. Which is kind of funny, because it overwrites their innate ability to fly. So, basically, by giving hover to a bird, you could just shield bash them into right off a cliff. Which they would normally be safe and normally be okay hanging around in. Alright. Alright. Double clerics probably won't... Oh, triple clerics. I might as well go for the caster here. This is going to be a one-shots only map. Road. Alright. Deal with all that nonsense later. Go deal with this one for now. Save our buff from when we're actually attacking next round. No, I can't hear the word nonsense the same anymore. Pretty sure a lot of folks have seen that there's a lot of high-profile phone games and stuff like that that started getting advertised like crazy lately. And it sucks. But I guess they got the, what was it? The announcer guy that they use for a lot of stuff online. Got him to go advertise one of them. It's okay, the ad's sort of funny, but honestly, when you're trying to like listen to, okay, like yesterday, I was trying to listen to this random documentary about some different boxers from back in the day and whatever else, and for some reason, their whole idea is like, oh yeah, no, let's just put like 3 frickin' ads for mobile games in a row, and then just wait 15 seconds to wait if you really want to click on that yet. It's like, no, I'm just listening to this crap in the background. Like, there was one little thing for one ad, not 3 of them in a row. It sucks. Like, it... I mean, I know the usual joke is you keep pushing the envelope until somebody pushes back, and then you know you're in the right spot. But, man, it is annoying as hell how they just flood you with them now. So it's gotten to the point that a lot of times I love listening to all kinds of stuff in the background, but a lot of the times, I don't have the focus on hand to like go around cleaning, watching the kiddos, organizing, trying to figure out some schedules and whatever else. And I'm not really going to have, the thoughts in mind to listen to an audiobook at that time, so I just want to listen to some random documentary or whatever else. Maybe something interesting comes along when I'm actually listening to it. And yeah, I've just wound up listening to music more often now, because, yeah, you friggin' stop listening to it for a second, and it's just 15 ads. It's like, I don't want any of these things. I'm completely sick of them. But they still keep coming. Still keep coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. It's like, I'm pretty sure... Well, especially, like, they have stuff over and over about that frickin' raid thing, and it's really obvious what it is. Anybody looking at it, like, they throw out all these huge advertisements, like, oh, the most ambitious frickin' thing ever. No, it's just another phone game. Literally all they did was add voice acting to a phone game, and they're like, oh, look, we did the biggest thing ever. Nobody's ever done anything so impressive. And what sucks is that people are believing it, apparently, because, I mean, apparently it's been on the top of a lot of things for a decent chunk now. I mean, any actual reviews of it were basically saying, like, yeah, this is just garbage phone game crap. This is, some of them might be an actual game. This is just grind for the sake of grind and no actual end goal. I mean, apparently even the PvP thing that they keep advertising over and over doesn't actually exist. It's just like, apparently it's kind of like this one in a way, except it's just somebody, like, let's say somebody has a character, right? Then they just keep level grinding that character, and that's about all. And then eventually they just make a team and they pop it online, and somebody shows up and they're like, oh, they're gonna go fight their team. Do you have higher numbers? Yes, then you win. You have lower numbers? No, then you lost. Yay. Exciting. So exciting! But yeah, no. No, I wish all the failures for them. Normally it would be all about wishing positivity, but it's not great. It's just the fact that that stuff is doing how it's doing means we're probably never getting another one of these, or another one from any of the series, or whatever else. If it, like, the one silver lining that seemed like it might be possible would be is if it came as a decent phone game, but let's be honest, it would probably just turn into one of those. It's like, oh, you go friggin' mash your silver coins into your archers. Join now and you get 50 dragon stakes. It's like, why? Why? Like, oh, you've played one fight, I'm sorry, you have to deposit $13.99 to keep playing. So, you know, you gotta go pay for those new maps and everything. So, but that was the same map from before. Nope, you gotta pay to load it. Alright. That might have been a risky move, because they might just all come in with finishers now. And I don't have enough health to survive a multi-round of that. Here's hoping they don't do that. Oh, there they go. Went for the arrhythmia, that's fine. Not ideal, but it's fine. And dead. If this hits, we're screwed. But it never misses, so that's always nice. It actually does miss fairly often. Again, we're having atrociously bad luck today. Oh well. It happens. Yeah, what is there to say, really? Just gotta get through this fight. Gotta get through this one and or another one, and they're going for another Dispel. If we were allowed to use Recruit for the purposes of this run, would probably be recruiting those fairly often. Alright. Need to just back up and hope they don't get a finisher. Because there's literally nothing else I can do right now. It probably would have been a good idea to put on Stop Ward, but oh well. Oh well, it's fine. Okay, we might be able to get out of their range with this next one. And then we might be able to heal, and then we might be able to get right back to it. Yeah, anyone ever remember clerics being this much of a threat in the original? God, no. Alright, hang on just a moment. Alright, there's a small chance that we can pull this off still. If we go over here, maybe. Just trying to get as much distance as possible. Fear the priests! Fear the priests! They're coming to go all Inquisition on everybody. And yeah, I should point out that, yeah, Stop Ward pretty much completely shuts this down. But yeah, they've got a very high accuracy multi-hit move, and they've got a shackle move. That's pretty much all the generics we're going to get throughout the course of the game. The generic grunts never get past skill 5. That might end up changing. I actually don't know if he's updated any of that to be different. But it would be kind of interesting to see generic grunts that went all the way up to 7, you know? Would be a lot harder to route out, that's for sure. But also part of the reason that we're not able to dodge anything is because we keep getting hit by leaden, because that archer does not quit. Yeah, you see TP going up way faster in the later parts of the game. Managing it can be tricky. Alright, so am I getting triple turned by everybody, or what? On a little bit of a side note, so yeah, because of challenge runs and everything else, I regularly see stuff pop up on YouTube where it's you know, it's other folks doing challenge runs of different kinds. And specifically, there was one that cracked me up the other day. It was like, oh, can you beat New Vegas with only a shovel? And the first thing that came to mind was the first time I discovered the shovel in that game. Because so for the longest time, there's this shack that has a shovel at the very start of the game and all that. And all of your melee units have a special ability that gets unlocked once you get your skill halfway to max. So you can do that right from the very start of the game. Like, if you build your character, you can pretty much get melee 50 almost immediately. Oh, come on, it's 40%! Are you really gonna hit that every single time? I'm starting to question whether that's really 40%. That is maximum evasion. It literally cannot go higher. Dang it, game. What is your deal today? Tynemouth should not be resulting in a 50-50% chance of loss at this point. This is ridiculous. But, oh well. So yeah, what I was getting at there, though. Wait, what was I getting at? Dang it. Lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, so, what was it? Oh, yeah, so shovel only, right. So, for those that never play, so like I was saying, for those that never played New Vegas, it's like, it's this funny thing where yeah, each of those abilities has something relatively unique that, I mean, there's a few of them that are shared, but for the most part, it's stuff you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. But in the case of the shovel, it's basically this, this more or less sweep type of move that you do that will literally knock anything on the ground, regardless of size, regardless of anything other than, there's a perk called Stonewall. It's literally the only counter to it, and almost nothing has it. So, if I recall correctly, even the last boss doesn't have that. So, and notably, Deathclaws don't have it, which are one of the scariest things you can run into early on. So here it was. I'm always looking for spears and whatever else in games, and here I have this thing that is functionally a weird-looking spear that can effectively knock out stun any enemy in the game for about 5 seconds. It's just, I was so happy to figure that out. Just the entire run, I just never used anything other than a shovel. It's really one of the most fun ways to break that game. And specifically, there's this one route that you can take early on that allows you to skip most of the early game entirely, and it's perfectly fine, because experience-wise, you end up just getting a massive dump of it as soon as you get there. Because it just automatically completes every quest up to that point. Man, I just love how that game works. But that's besides the point. So, do I run Consecrate? Not yet. Actually, no, I do need to run Consecrate right now, because I want to stay out of Dispel range, but I still want to heal. But okay, so yeah, it's really fun. If you've never tried a shovel run of New Vegas, it's really fun. But there's like 3 or 4 of those Deathclaw things in the way, and if you have enough points, you can just keep using that stun move. It's used automatically, or not automatically, but it's used instantly. Like, if you're able to get a lock on, you're able to get that move off. So unless something glitches out, you're automatically stunning that thing. And so you can just like run through and do the stun move on every one of them and just sprint straight through that area. It's great. It's absolutely fantastic. And I'm excited too, because there's this thing that's equivalent to a whole new game for New Vegas there. That's very close to being released now. It's this mod called the Frontier. Like, fully voice acted, fully everything, like, that mess is one of the big mods. That thing's been in development for years, too. So, I really hope it's not one of those ones that gets created and then Bethesda steps in like, oh, no, 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 pay up, we're gonna go ahead and borrow this from you. And we're just never gonna release it, we're just gonna sit on it forever. Like, yeah, thanks for the years of effort, now we just decided that we're only gonna screw you over now that it's released. Gotta love when they do that. Because they've actually done that to a few other mods before. Specifically, somebody was remaking New Vegas and Fallout 4, and then they basically just came and they waited until they were pretty much done with the project and then just screwed them. Because that's nice. Alright, so am I getting double-turned after their finishers, or do I get a chance to move? Nope, getting double-turned after their finishers. Priests are a little bit fast. This is mostly because she's got Quicken on right now. So she's got Quickened, and she's got a very light setup. So they've got no ranged attacks. If I get back here, there's nothing they can do, really. And so all we're doing is just going back, getting Ruination charged up, getting Strengthen turned on, and then smacking them in the face. As you do, as you do. I'm not entirely sure how well that'll work, but considering that their shackle move never misses, then it's going to be a little bit of a frustrating thing, but we'll see. We shall see. Hopefully there's enough healing items to make this work, actually. Like, granted, 58%, that was the highest odds it's had yet. But you can probably see where I'm coming from, where it's been used, what, like 6 times in this fight, never once missed? Most of those times were at 40%. Like, it's certainly not a guaranteed miss or anything, but it certainly would be nice for it not to land every time. And the unfortunate thing is, lowering its accuracy would probably make it just 25% all the time, so that wouldn't be great either. So, like, balance-wise, it is where it needs to be. The RNG just feels like being a dick a lot of the times. But again, not as much as Monster Rancher, it turns out. I was really surprised how much of a dick that game can be the other day. It's like, just go watch a speed run of it. It's amazing. Like, there was one AGDQ recently that was just an amazing watch. It was really fascinating. Alright, it's either win this fight or lose this fight, but this is the last one for today. About to whip out the controller here and turn it on fast forward. Unfortunately, they're getting full bars before I can even get close. There's a small possibility I could go get Charybdis going. Maybe that might be a way to do it. But no, they'll just heal out of Charybdis and then just the slow will wear off before I get a chance to follow up on it. It needs to be one shot or nothing. You're a terrible person. Alright, come on. Honestly, just every single debuff gone before I can even move. So yeah, they're very fast. And this is about as fast as we're realistically going to be for a while. Let's see if we got any dodge moves available. See, what I'm thinking is this guy goes up and uses his finisher. Maybe if we have a chance to dodge it, should be very low odds to dodge it. We'll see. So off of that Dispel. I kind of feel like Dispel needs to be a little bit higher. Like in its cost. Like maybe 12 instead of 10 or something. The only thing is just... Okay, 20... That was 25. I think it said 21 even, which I don't think you can go that low, so it should have been 20%. Come on. Like, just honestly, come on. This is douchey at this point. Alright, where's that controller cord? Yep, more Dispels. That's cool. I don't want to turn ever anyway. And yes, this is why you get Stop Ward. I actually don't remember why I didn't have it here. Right, remember 4, attack 2, Ogfire. It was because of Ogfire, that's why I don't have it. Because I need everything else, but I'm trying to train up Ogfire. Just go speed this up. Since we're apparently waiting forever, and or until we're out of healing items. Let's see what they do. Yes, 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 they're all super fast now. I suppose there's a small possibility that instead of anything else, I might just be able to maybe rapid silence them. Because then they'll eventually attack. Yeah, they've got multiple directions to heal in, and I'm able to run around throwing out Ruination over and over. And then this might be possible. Because, yeah, now I've got another one. Now we can disable 2 of them. Please miss. Finally! Good lord. Okay. Perfect. There's one down. You. Take a heal turn here. No, we're actually going to stay here and not go after her real quick. I should be able just to pressure this guy. Last healing seed. Alright, that should be finishable. Yes, okay. And of course, she got the only one that she needed to get off, but that's fine. Whew. Okay, there we go. Finally. Didn't get those, but got enough points to get the skill. Then we get TP4. What? TP4, please? Where? Where is it? There we go. There we go. Now we're maxed. Beautiful. Okay. So with that, we should hopefully be reasonably good to go. Let's see if we sell everything here. What do we got? Sell all those. Sell all these lifelines. I feel like there's some of these other random things that we've gotten. Nothing really worthwhile there. Not armor-wise. I think I'm going to hang on to the Worm Scale Helm, though. It doesn't really sell for that much. Wisdom Ring... Probably not going to use that ever. truth be told, I'm not going to use any of those. Alright, so didn't make much of a profit. But next time, I think we'll be going ahead and doing Pirate's Graveyard again. Giving that a little bit of a shot. I think we should be good. I think. Suppose we'll find out. But yeah, we're going in with a way better setup this time. And ideally what I'd like to see is get an elemental shield, get an elemental vest. This thing can eventually become the finial, but truth be told, it's probably one of the better ones we're going to be using. So, yeah, I think we're kind of about where we need to be, all things considered. And I suppose we could always go for one of these here, but... Interesting damage situation here. This one has slightly higher damage, but due to bonuses, we're just getting more out of this other one. Let's see, what's this one? Umbra? That's pretty worthless, but against Phantom, yeah, that's a bit more useful. Either way, we'll deal with all that once we get back next time. So, thank you guys for stopping by. I gotta get going. Have yourselves a good one. Take care.